All right, let's talk politics now here on Coffee Break. It is, after all, Rhode Island's #1 spectator sport. Mark Murphy is here, editor of the Providence Business News. Cover story of the current edition of the paper, in print and online, is an interview with candidate for governor, Cranston Mayor Allan Fung, second time around. And I learned something new from this interview. The UHIP DHS, Department of Human Services computer debacle. Apparently his own father was caught up in it.
Yeah, not once, but twice they lost his application for long-term benefits. And it took him, I think it was 7 months to get the benefits, and they didn't know what was going on. So he has a very personal feeling about what the way the governor has been managing the state.
That perhaps half explains why he's been so critical of the governor about that and so many other issues, including the campaign donations she's received from big corporations that sometimes may benefit.
Well, and I think that goes back to really his core economic message, which is to cut back on the economic development programs, which he sees as having given advantages just to these large companies that are coming here, although that's not exactly true, and rather to lower the sales tax rate from 7% to 5%, which he views as an across-the-board economic boost for not just the big businesses, but more to small local businesses.
Your reporter noted, and I know observers of the campaign have also noted, that Fung is already sort of bypassing his opponents in the Republican primary, almost exclusively directing criticism at incumbent Governor Raimondo.
Well, I think he's trying to sort of play off of her approval ratings, which are not as high, certainly, as, say, compared with Charlie Baker in Massachusetts. And there's a lot of, Governor Raimondo has conservatives who are not happy with the economic development programs, but you have a lot of progressives who are not necessarily enamored of her, for instance, support of the Burrillville natural gas plant. So she's getting fire from both sides.
Yeah, and he's suggesting that lowering the rate to 5%, I guess the sales tax to 5% for everybody would be better than special tax breaks for large corporations, his view.
Yeah, and there's a discussion about that. There's not universal agreement. I think that the idea that lower tax rates are really going to create economic development may not really work. I think that the argument might be that these bigger companies that create more jobs and higher paying jobs, then the beneficiaries of a lot of that are these smaller local service businesses. For instance, like Allan Fung's parents who ran a restaurant. That's not helping them out in a little bit, is going to help them out, but it's not going to help the state overall.
We'll be talking with Mark, I think, in the weeks ahead, more about the campaign for governor and some of the other big races, because you plan on interviewing the other candidates in the governor's race.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right. So watch for that and get more about this interview in print or online. Providence Business News. Mark Murphy, we thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Frank.